Well, let's hope the internet has room for one more white guy who wants to talk about Disney. I'm Neil Heatherly, you can call me Professor N, and we are here today to build a case. Not just to talk about a particular movie, but to build a case that said movie is the best Disney movie of all time. It is, at the very least, my favorite. And you might look at me and think, oh, he's a Star Wars, Marvel guy, and granted, I am. But that felt like cheating to me. That, to me, is not really Disney. That's something else. I'd even go so far as to say Pixar is something else. So I wanted to go classic Disney from beginning to end, all the way through production. Got the castle right out front when you look at the logos. And to me, that left only one choice. One shockingly recent choice, I might add. And that, my friends, is Zootopia. And now, bear with me on this. I got a few reasons why. Here is my case, my three key reasons why Zootopia is the best Disney movie of all time. First, there is the genre. Then, there is the world building. And finally, but most importantly, we have the message. So, here's the deal. First, we want to talk about the genre. Okay? This is a buddy cop movie. Disney doesn't make a lot of buddy cop movies. You don't believe me? Go, look for yourself. I'll wait. Of course I don't wear a watch. It's 2019. Okay, you back? Alright, so you can see, that's a genre Disney has not dabbled in a lot. And actually, overall, we're not getting nearly as many of them as we used to get over the last several decades, which is a real shame. It's a relatable, fun, funny, exciting genre that you can tell a lot of really interesting, great stories with. And so to see Disney bring it back in a way that is appropriate for kids, that's accessible, that's fun, I couldn't ask for anything more. And certainly, I think that relatability of the genre puts it a step above some other Disney animation, right? Those princess movies are all great, but they don't resemble the world we live in. It's harder to connect to those stories than it is to Zootopia being set in a much more modern city. And that brings me to my next point, the next reason why Zootopia is the best Disney movie of all time, the world building. Right, think about it, okay? You've seen a bunch of cartoons, I'm sure, over the course of your life dealing with funny animals, right? Disney has made a whole brand out of it. But think about those Disney cartoons, right? Anything odd about the relationship between, say, Mickey, Donald, Goofy? Mickey's like an enormous mouse, right? If Donald is supposed to be a duck, Goofy is supposed to be a dog, then Mickey's like gigantic. Right? We just don't think about it because the shorts expect us not to, and frankly, there's no real reason to do it. Zootopia, on the other hand, asks the question, okay, so if a mouse, a duck, a dog, whatever you got, if they existed in the way that they do in the real world, but with human-level intelligence, what kind of city would they build for themselves? What kind of city would they have to build for themselves? And the inventiveness of the answers that this film comes up with to that question is just amazing to me constantly. Every single time I watch it, I always see some new little detail in the background that just always makes me laugh. I still get a little bit of a giggle out of watching the giraffe pick up their Starbucks. But even setting aside those little touches, the film actually makes this an incredibly important part of the plot in certain areas. Judy's chase through the rodent area of the city, I mean, that's just an incredibly exciting action set piece where this buddy cop movie basically gets to turn into Godzilla for like a second, except Godzilla's the good guy, girl, rabbit, bunny, whatever. You get my point. They use that inventiveness and creativity to make this small-scale, intimate, relatable cop movie into an epic journey, because just going across the city to find the clues to solve the case is a lot like a globe-trotting adventure, because for the sheer diversity of species that have to live in this place, it would have to be. So, the world building definitely is another reason why Zootopia is my favorite and I think the best Disney movie of all time. But the single most important one to me is the message. Right? And obviously, preface, yeah, white dude. Coming from a position of privilege, I get it. But if you want to take a grain of salt, unfortunately, all I have is a grinder. I don't have any grains of salt otherwise, so give me a second here. I'll get that later. And that is on my pants. But you get the point. Rather than debate that, let's move on and actually see how important this movie really is in terms of its message. Because I hope, as a society, we're all in a place where we can agree racism is bad. Right? So let's have... And that's exactly what the film shows us. The main character, Judy Hopps, is a fundamentally good person. The bunny, rabbit, okay, we did that already. But it stands to reason she is fun. She loves her job. Her job is important. She's good at it. And yet, through her interactions with the other characters, you definitely see she's got some biases that can be very problematic, especially if your job is to be, the arbiter of justice in this city. And so as she grows and learns, the film makes a lot of very on-the-nose parallels to make it very clear exactly what Predator is supposed to relate to in our world, and seeing how this fundamentally good person realizes they have the room to become better and does the work to become better, that is, to me, such an incredibly inspiring message than what we were yesterday. And if we do, we can make our little corner of the world a better place for all the people around us to live in. Again, I love those princess movies, but I have a hard time thinking of one of them that says that, at least as eloquently and intelligently and subtly as Zootopia does. If you just want fun, you just want laughs, you just want those action scenes, they're there for you. And you don't have to think too hard about it. But if you're willing to think hard about Zootopia, it's got something to say. And what it has to say, that message to me, is the single most important reason why Zootopia is the best Disney movie of all time. Like I said, it is at least my favorite anyway. So, between the genre, the world building, and of course, the message, I hope you can see that Zootopia is the best Disney movie of all time. Again, it is my favorite, and I hope maybe